Money looks like a simple subject. Most people believe wealth is built through intelligence, complicated strategies, or advanced financial knowledge. But according to Morgan Housel in The Psychology of Money, the real driver behind financial success has very little to do with intelligence. It has everything to do with behaviour. Two people can receive the same financial education, earn similar incomes, and live in the same economy, yet end up with completely different financial outcomes. The difference is not what they know. The difference is how they behave. Money decisions are rarely made on spreadsheets. They are made with emotions, experiences, fear, and personal beliefs. Once you understand this truth, the entire concept of wealth begins to look different. One of the most powerful ideas in the book is that no one is truly crazy with money. People simply make decisions based on the world they experienced growing up. Imagine someone who grew up during the Great Depression. Their parents lost jobs, savings disappeared, and survival required extreme caution with money. That person may spend their entire life saving every dollar, avoiding risk, and fearing financial loss. Now imagine someone who grew up during a booming economy where the stock market was rising and opportunities seemed endless. That person may feel comfortable taking risks and investing aggressively. Both people are acting rationally according to the experiences that shape them. Our financial behaviour is not just learned from books or schools. It is shaped by the environment we live through. This is why financial advice often fails. What works for one person may feel impossible for someone with a completely different life experience. Understanding this explains why people disagree about money and why financial habits are often emotional rather than logical. Another powerful concept in the book is the role of luck and risk. When we look at successful investors, entrepreneurs, or wealthy individuals, we often assume their success came entirely from skill. But the truth is far more complex. Luck plays a bigger role than most people want to admit. Morgan Housel shares the story of Bill Gates attending one of the very few high schools in the world at that time that had access to a computer. In the late 1960s, computers were extremely rare, but Gates happened to attend a school that had one. He spent thousands of hours learning programming as a teenager. That opportunity helped shape the path that would eventually lead to Microsoft. It wasn't just intelligence that created that success. Timing and luck also played a role. Recognizing this does not take away from achievement. Instead, it teaches humility. It reminds us that success is rarely as simple as hard work alone, and failure is not always the result of poor decisions. Life contains an element of randomness that cannot be controlled. The smartest financial approach is acknowledging this uncertainty and planning for it. The book also makes a critical distinction between being rich and being wealthy. Rich is visible, wealth is invisible. When someone buys an expensive car, a large house, or luxury items, it may look like wealth. But those purchases do not necessarily mean someone is wealthy. In many cases, those purchases actually reduce wealth. Real wealth is what you do not see. It is the money sitting quietly in savings accounts, investment portfolios, and long-term assets. It is the financial cushion that gives someone freedom and security. Many people spend their money trying to show others how successful they are, but the irony is that the more money someone spends to look rich, the less wealth they often build. True wealth is built quietly through patience, discipline, and saving. Morgan Housel shares the powerful story of a man named Ronald Reed. Reed worked as a janitor and gas station attendant for most of his life. He lived in a small town and drove used cars. He did not earn an extraordinary income. He simply saved consistently and invested in stocks for decades. While others chased status and expensive lifestyles, Ronald Reed relied on patience and the power of time. His story shows that building wealth is often less about earning huge amounts of money and more about consistent habits practiced over long periods. This connects to one of the most powerful forces in finance, compounding. Compounding is the process where returns generate additional returns over time. At first, the progress may seem small and almost invisible, but over long periods, the results become extraordinary. The story of Warren Buffett illustrates this idea perfectly. Many people believe Buffett is wealthy simply because he is a brilliant investor. While his skill certainly played a role, his greatest advantage was time. Buffett began investing as a teenager and continued doing so for more than 70 years. Most of his wealth came later in life because decades of compounding had time to work. This reveals something important about financial success. It often depends less on brilliance and more on consistency and patience. Someone who invests steadily over a long period may outperform someone constantly chasing the next big opportunity. Another important idea in the book is the power of saving. Many people assume wealth is determined by income, but income alone does not determine financial success. Spending habits do. Someone earning a moderate income who saves consistently and invests wisely can build significant wealth over time. Meanwhile, someone earning a large income who spends everything may never achieve financial security. Saving creates flexibility. It gives people options. It provides the ability to handle unexpected situations, pursue opportunities, or walk away from environments that limit their growth. Saving is not only about building money, it is about building control over your life. The book also highlights the importance of leaving room for error. Life is unpredictable. Markets crash. Economies change. Businesses fail. Unexpected expenses appear when they are least expected. The people who survive these events are not always the smartest investors. They are the ones who prepared for uncertainty. They avoided excessive debt. They maintained savings. They made financial decisions that allowed them to absorb mistakes. Trying to perfectly predict the future is impossible, but preparing for uncertainty makes survival far more likely. And survival is what allows long-term wealth to grow. In the end, the real purpose of money is not luxury, it is freedom. Money gives people control over their time. It allows them to decide what work they do, where they live, and how they spend their days. The highest form of wealth is the ability to wake up and choose how to live. The people who truly understand money are not the ones trying to impress others with expensive lifestyles. They are the ones quietly building independence. They spend less than they earn. They invest consistently. They remain patient during uncertainty. And they understand that when it comes to money, behaviour will always matter more than intelligence. Because in the long run, the psychology behind money decisions is what truly determines financial success.